Today, my father and I will be talking about how to make SMART goals. So happy New Year, happy holidays. We'll start with that. We are a father and daughter team that we love to teach about money with families and really having those initial conversations about how to budget and save. And so I'm Dr. Kenesha. I paid off actually $113,000 in student loans in 2017. I am a pharmacist by trade. And so I will let my dad have his limelight.
Greetings, everyone. It's terrific that you're here today, and we are graced to have another year in front of us. And today we're going to really spend some time focusing in on SMART goals. I just want to say I come out of an industry where SMART goals are really critical to your day-to-day life when you go to work. And that's how you develop your performance goals in the environment. And what we like to be able to do today is to put in place a strategy and a technique for you that's more specific to how you manage money, your budget, and your overall wealth building process as it relates to SMART goal. Dr. Kenesha, you're on.
All right, guys. So a SMART goal. I want you guys as you come into the room, let me know what is your 2026 goal. What is your goal? Go ahead and put it in the chat. We're gonna wait. Go ahead and put in your 2026 goal in the chat. So it's you want to save $1,000 towards a vacation this year? Is it that you want to save for school or? So let us know in the chat. What is your 2026 goal? And then Happy New Year to everyone who's coming in the room. Miss Joanne, Apple user, thank you for coming in the room. And when you come in, please go ahead and like the broadcast, like the TikTok, so we can have other people come. Make sure you share with somebody you know. So if there's someone who you're like, okay, they really need to learn how to make goals, because the thing is that we can make goals, but then how do we accomplish those goals throughout the year? How do we stay consistent and be disciplined with that? So if you're coming in, go ahead and let us know what your 2026 goals are. And what we'll do is that while you guys talk about that or think to yourself, we'll get started. I have a few notes here, so bear with us. So when we talk about a SMART goal, you'll see here the few things that are written on the board. This is how you address each letter. So the S is specific. So you're saying, okay, so what exactly is my goal? How much do I want to save? And then you're thinking, well, what am I actually saving for? So you have to have an idea of both of those things. So if it's a particular dollar amount, make sure that's very clear. Is it $1,000 you're looking to save? And then for what are you saving it for? Are you saving it for a vacation in June at the beach? So you are very specific. So your thought is, well, what is? So that's when you actually write that there. So you're thinking specific and you're like, okay, so what is it? What am I actually saving for? And then how much am I saving? And then the example is, once again, is the dollar amount and then what exactly you're saving for. Dad, did you have anything to add for S, which is specific, a specific goal?
Yes, I do, Dr. Kenesha. So this is your opportunity to be fully accountable for what you're attempting to achieve. This is where you can't fudge it, you can't fake it, and you cannot and should not be dishonest to yourself. Be fully accountable, and when you're writing the specific portion of it, make sure it's so simplistic that you understand it and get it. And if you choose someone significant to share it with, they'll get it immediately. And so what I like to do, Dr. Kenesha, if it's okay for you, I like to take us into the next stage, which is measurable.
Please, Daddy-O, go ahead.
So the notion of measurable, this is not where you use fuzzy math. This is not where you put your thoughts and ideas on paper and This is truly where you want to look at the facts and details and begin to build around that. Measurable means that you can somehow track your progress. And I said something in the last presentation that we did and live on budgeting. You have to be accountable to you. And if you get in your own way, this is the wrong place to do it. This is your infrastructure for how you are going to achieve your goals. So you wouldn't build your house out of straw when bricks, wood, and others would be more pliable. So you want to make it very tangible and trackable. And when we talk about measuring, you want to essentially look at, once again, what are we measuring? And so measuring, once again, accountable for self, 1 + 1 should equal 2. I say that because it's a little vulgaris in terms of saying it, but it's really real. We sometimes look at where we would like for things to be, and it doesn't necessarily end up where we want it to be because we didn't put the first input in appropriately. And on that note, I'll turn it back over to Dr. Kenesha.
Thank you, Dad. And so for those of you in the comments, did you enter your 2026 goal? We really want to know, what is your goal for this year? And then what questions do you have so far? Put the one in the chat if you understand. S for specific, so what is your specific goal? And then measurable. How are you tracking your progress? So if you understand what's going on so far, go ahead and put a one in the chat. And please like and share with somebody that you know. So they need to know how to accomplish those goals in 2026. We want them here with you today. And then also please follow. We'd love for you guys to join the journey with us, okay? So now A. So if it's achievable, this means, is it actually doable? Is it actually doable? And so for this, you want to find out, okay, does it actually fit your spending? So our last class, we talked about a budget. So which means so bear with me now. So if you are looking at fixed expenses, variable expenses, and then what you're putting towards savings and debt, how much money is left over? Because now if you're looking to save, right? So your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, and now you have just about 20% left of your budget to go towards your savings. How much is that? And does that fit into this goal? That's what will make it truly achievable, is how much money is left in your budget. Okay? Dan, did you have something to add to achievable? Oh, I'll write this right when he's coming up.
So achievable can be mapped back to an earlier statement I made. Be accountable in this space. And there was a reason why I shared earlier that if you understand it in terms of being specific, and then you share it with someone else that you want to glean into where you're at, you now have an accountability partner. And I would encourage each one of you out there, as we go through this structure, put those people that you care about, that you love, into the fray if you want them to grow with you and to help you with your process. The accountability really gets extended and deeply rooted when you share it with someone else.
So I think that's a big thing that my dad brought up, is the accountability. When I paid off $113,000, I had an accountability partner. I knew that I had a friend that was going to say, when I wanted to buy a pair of boots, when I wanted to go to the mall, that she was going to say no. She's like, well, what's your goal again? I thought you were paying off $113,000 in less than a year. If you are, then those things the boots, that's not in your budget, and that's not going to help you reach that goal. that's the person you need. So basically, the person that would annoy you the most, that it would irritate your soul the most if they told you no, that you couldn't. That's the person that you need to say, yo, can you be my accountability partner? It matters, because yes, you want to be accountable to yourself, but when you have to be accountable to someone else, you level up just a little bit more. So tell someone your goal. Tell someone your goal. Tell someone your SMART goal. Okay? So we're moving now from achievable to relevant. Relevant or realistic. For me, this really means, why does it matter to you? Why does it matter? And so let's say you are going to, what we said, so specific is, we're saving $800 for a vacation in July at the beach, right? This is very specific. Oh, it's measurable, so now we're like, well, how much is this per month? For me, if I'm going to track it, this means about $133 per month for my measurable. And then, is it achievable? We're saying that I actually have $133 in my budget remaining in order to make this achievable, that it will actually happen. And then now realistic, maybe the vacation is for self-care. This is you saying, this is relevant to me, this matters to me because it's self-care, I really need some time away. That's the part. So why does it matter? Okay. Dad, did you have something that you wanted to add to this one?
Yes, I do, Dr. Kenesha. We're going to play musical chairs here because we want to be able to drive home the key points that are necessary for you to not just see this as a live that you listen to and you don't take a lot of significant nuggets away. And the one that she just talked about was being relevant or being essentially focused on what you're really looking at in a realistic manner. This maps back to my earlier conversation around, this is not where you do fuzzy math. This is not where you are not honest with yourself. And so once again, accountability continues to come up. The other thing that I want you to look at as part of this process, as we get down to the time-bound portion, if you're not having a lot of questions pop up in your head right now, you're probably not looking at your situation in its entirety in a realistic, approachable, and an achievable manner. So you want to truly be accountable. Dr. Kenesha?
Now, we've just discussed relevant, why it matters. And then now, the very end is time bound. This is very important. Very, very important, because we're saying by when. This is like any goal that you would have. If you have a goal at work, you have a goal to save, you have a goal to pay off debt. If you don't give it a time, you're sitting there for what, years? Years trying to reach the same goal. Years trying to finish a project at work, trying to pay off debt, trying to save the $800 for the trip. Which means you've lost the why. You've lost the why because you're thinking, okay, you've never sat down and said, by when? Every single time I make a goal, there's a time frame. Because when I put a time frame on it, then later, which we'll talk about next time, is how to break down this goal. And you break down the goal by the time. Because if you have, so we talked about specific was $800. And then we said for a beach vacay, right? And then we said now it's over 6 months. That's our time. So which means by June, we'll have the trip paid for. So then we can go in July. But the goal, how do you meet the goal, how do you actually accomplish the goal in that time frame, is what you'll break down. So the easy way is just you're saying $800 divided by 6 and then there's nothing else. But the point is that you have to have this goal written down, have this concept, completely understand the concept, and have your accountability partner to even begin to reach the goal in that amount of time frame. Because breaking it down, that's the math that my dad was talking about. You have to make that math in order for it to happen in the long term. So does this make sense? If you're just coming in the room, we're talking about SMART goals. Please go ahead, share with somebody you know who's looking to accomplish major goals in 2026. Share, go ahead and like, that would be great. Go ahead and follow us as well, because we'll be going live a lot more often talking about budgeting, saving, paying off debt. We want you guys to be here for it. We want you to share that with your family and friends. So what part does not make sense? So if you're in the comments right now, what did you miss and do you need us to review again?
Dr. Kanisha, can we make a slight transition while they document what they may have missed or have questions? And I want to frame something for us going forward. Hi there, guys. I'm back. I want to build your vocabulary in this particular area. And Dr. Kanisha used the terminology, and I'm surprised that she used it, because we talk about it all the time. This whole word try. I want to tell you now, the word try should have no place in your vocabulary. Either you're going to do it or you're not. The word try says you don't have access, you don't have the tools, resources, or the necessary people in your life that can help you to achieve this. The answer already lies in you, and you got to flush it out. The other thing that goes along with try we always want to use a substitute for the word try. Please write in the chat for a word that would give you the meaning that you are attempting to portray as opposed to the word try. I want to see what some people come up with. Oh, I see one that said attempt. Attempt shows some action. That's if you're moving. If you're sitting in place and it's a thought process, it didn't happen yet. So let me toss out a few just for your edification. Desire. Because desire says you have everything in the universe at your fingertips that you can get to, and you can leverage it, and you can utilize it. You can make it happen because you got what you really have in that category to be able to leverage and move off of. The other word that I would toss out, when we say try, I'm going to give you some terminology. When I say try is like when you go to church and you said, I got this problem in front of me, and I want to use the word hope. Hope works in church because that's your faith. That's your focus. Hope doesn't work when it comes down to business. Hope is not a method or a strategy to achieve a desired outcome. Please think about that. When you make that distinction, you are now able to achieve above and beyond unordinary outcomes. Dr. Kanisha?
That's right. We have talked about that so much. so much. Okay, I want to know what questions do you guys have? Shirley Stallworth, thank you for sharing the live. We really appreciate that. go ahead and follow us. That would be so great. We'll be talking a lot about paying off debt, saving, budgeting. So you want to be here for that. And go ahead and also like the live. That would be great. And we have, which I guess we can't formally say, but in the bio we have a link. You can go ahead and sign up for a Substack so we can get you additional emails, and you can follow along with our journey on there as well. And so what other questions do you guys have? If you're just coming in the room, we're talking about SMART goals. So go ahead and put your 2026 goal in the chat. We want to find out, and I want to know actually, so when you guys usually make goals, do you find yourself, is it bored or you're overwhelmed? Let us know in the chat. Because why is it that we feel that we can't stick to the goal, be consistent, disciplined? What are those factors that get in the way? Are we distracted by social media? It's things going on with our families. What is that? So let us know in the chat. So when you usually make goals, do you write them down? Because for me, I know that's one of the very big things. If I make a goal that looks like this, and actually you'll see here at the bottom, where you can change the wording slightly to get the same effect. So I will save, and let's say you say, I will save $800 for a beach vacation in July, like how we wrote above, and we're saying in 6 months, so this would say by June 30th of 2026. This would be the format for your SMART goal. Because when you now write that down, you basically give that goal power. You've given power to what you want, what you desire. And this is now going to be your main focus. That's exactly what you're saying. And so the same would go if you wanted to pay off debt. I will pay off this amount to save, let's say, in order to save by this date. And so your challenge for the next time is actually to make a SMART goal. So begin thinking about that now. And if you're already ready and you know what your SMART goal is, go ahead and put it in the chat. We'd love to know. Because then when we see you next time, we're going to ask you, how's your SMART goal going? We'll say, my dad and I love SMART goals, my sister not so much. So when we tell her to make a SMART goal, she growls at us. But the SMART goals work. So put your SMART goal in the chat. If you already have a SMART goal, go ahead and put it in the chat. Thank you for joining in, Sheila S. Choo Choo. We're talking about SMART goals. We're trying to save $800 so we can go on vacation to the beach. So if you have goals for 2026, let us know. And then Dad, anything you want to add?
As a closure?
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Kenesha. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And of course, I date myself when I use that phraseology. I want you to think about the emotional gymnastics that happens when you're building out a SMART goal and you are striving and have a desire to achieve something drastically different than you did in 25. And so that emotional gymnastics, I want to draw just a quick scenario, and it's going to be in a pyramid form, but I want to give you a snapshot because you're going to see it again because it really intertwines in everything that we're doing right now. So with this pyramid, I'm going to draw it right here. I'm going to put S there, and I'm going to put I here, and I there. And I'll expect for each one of you to remember when you join us again, the emotional dynamics that occur when you're working with finances is very different than any other emotion that you experience in life, because it makes you feel lower than where you really are, less than who you really are. You don't quite have the self-esteem if you don't have the money to align with it. It's great to have a tall attitude, but you can't put it together financially and make it map. And so what's happening with the emotional roller coaster that you're experiencing, you have what you call self-talk. Self-talk is saying, well, Eugene, you haven't been able to achieve this thus far. What makes you think you're going to achieve it now? If you operate in the moment, use the right tools to help you get where you need to go, you can achieve it. So we want you, first of all, to claim that self-talk and change it. Secondly, you have over in the left-hand corner of the pyramid, some people call it intuition. Some people call it the innate thing of how you operate in the pinch of a moment. They call it instincts. What we often forget, what instincts did we use and naturally without thinking to get where we are today to even have a problem? I'm telling you, don't forget your instincts that move you through life to this point. And on the opposite side of the pyramid is intellect. What's happening is there's conflict between your instincts and your intellect constantly. And guess what? I hate to be a bearer of bad news. That's not going to change in life. However, you can manage it quite differently. So put into your infrastructure and your black box. I'll call it a black box because that means there's something good in there. It's a treasure. In lies this treasure. If we're mapping, listening to, correcting, and course correcting the self-talk, not forgetting our instincts that got us where we are, and always striving to do better, you're able to put your intellect at bay. And let me give you one quick example of this notion of instincts and intellect. I've worked in the corporate world for over 40-something years, including being a senior human resource executive for Motorola. And what I've found is that when people work very hard, work through the self-talk, as they climb the ladder, guess what they forget? The instincts that help them to get there. And because of that, they step into an office, into a room, into a company, and an environment. They think they're just as good as everyone else in the room. Mistake. You can never forget where you came from, what you learned along the way to get where you are. Always keep that at bay. It's just like some of those folks who hold on to anger from the past. This is stuff you got to hold on to because it means good stuff. Anger, resentment toward others, that doesn't do anything but take you down a tube. And the intellect piece, this is where you sharpen your tool by visiting us and allowing us to infiltrate your thought process and to give you insight, awareness that will lead you to foresight and a better financial future. Dr. Kenesha.
Well, on that note, we're going to call it a night. So once again, thank you for coming on a journey with us to talk about SMART goals, to see what you actually want to accomplish in 2026. You need to write it down. You need to be accountable to yourself as well as someone that you have said, okay, I know they're going to kick me in the rear if I don't do what I say I'm going to do. That's the person you want to be your accountability partner. And you know where to find us, correct? So we said that the link in my bio, look in the bio for the link for the Substack. and go ahead and follow us, because you want to make sure actually turn on your notifications as well, because then when we do go live, you know where to be. Make sure you have your pen and your paper and you're ready to go, because we don't play any games. So actually follow my dad as well, Eugene Frazier, and then follow along for the rest of the journey. You guys have a good night. Bye.